This is The Space Shot, episode 188 for November 18th, 2017. Ranger 2, COBE, and Generations. Hey everyone, welcome to The Space Shot, your daily space history, pop culture, and news fix. I'm John Molnix. We're starting off today with one of the unsuccessful early missions in American spaceflight history. Ranger 2 was launched on November 18, 1961, and was originally designed to test systems that would be used in future lunar and interplanetary explorations. Sadly, the Agena upper stage failed to restart, stranding Ranger 2 in a low Earth orbit. The orbit decayed and Ranger 2 re-entered the atmosphere after 2 days. Other Ranger missions were more successful. In episodes 75 and 101, I talk about Rangers 7 and 1 specifically. The second piece of history I want to talk about today is the COBE mission, or the Cosmic Background Explorer. COBE measured and mapped the cosmic microwave background, which is some of the oldest light in our universe. COBE spun around its axis at 1 RPM, which, combined with its orbit and orientation away from the sun, meant that the spacecraft could perform a complete scan of the sky in 6 months. Now, I've got some real-life technobabble coming up here in honor of Star Trek Generations, the movie that was released today. More on that in a bit, but here it goes. COBE used a far-infrared absolute spectrometer, a differential microwave radometer, and a diffuse infrared background experiment to map everything from blackbody radiation to cosmic infrared background radiation. The spacecraft needed to be cooled in order to peer into these wavelengths. To accomplish this, it had a sun shield, always pointed its instruments away from the sun, and carried 650 liters of liquid helium. The COBE mission was extremely successful. John Mather from the Goddard Space Flight Center and George Smoot from UC Berkeley shared the 2006 Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery of blackbody form and anisotropy of the cosmic microwave background radiation that was measured by the spacecraft. The cosmic microwave background radiation was first observed in the 1960s by Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson at Bell Labs. They shared a Nobel Prize in the 1970s for their discovery of the CMB. The COBE spacecraft was able to measure the cosmic microwave background radiation, which gives scientists a better understanding of how matter is distributed in the early universe. Now for something less scientifically heady, it's time for some Star Trek history.
Data. The sensors can't penetrate the planet's ionosphere. There's too much interference. Can you find a way to scan for life forms?
I would be happy to, sir. I just love scanning for life forms. Life forms. You tiny little life forms. You precious little life forms. Where are you?
On November 18, 1994, Star Trek Generations was released in theaters. The story starts off with Captain Kirk in the 23rd century and his actions to save the newly christened USS Enterprise B. With Kirk seemingly killed, the movie moves forward to the 24th century. A series of events puts Picard in a position where he must fight a deranged scientist, in this case Tolian Soren. Malcolm McDowell played Soren, and sadly he's one of the underrated bad guys in Star Trek. I watched the movie again last night because it's been years since I've seen it, and it's an enjoyable movie. It's by no means the best Star Trek, but it's an interesting story and premise, and the scenes between Malcolm McDowell and Patrick Stewart are quite enjoyable. Since you're here, why don't you let me know what you think of the podcast by leaving a review on iTunes. It takes just a minute to do that, and it makes a huge difference because it helps even more people find the show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of the daily episodes. As always, the show notes have more information on today's episode. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'm always up to chat. You can also connect with me on Facebook. Just search The Space Shot or click the link in the show notes. Tomorrow, the first rendezvous on a celestial body and Hayabusa. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.